Alrighty guys, welcome back to another video. So this is a bit of an interesting one today. I have a little bit of a talk track for it, but I kind of just wanted to have a quick chat through why you're getting out CC'd, right? Like it's kind of a weird one because sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. And I want to touch on some of the reasons why it might be happening to you guys. I had a few comments in the Discord and like on YouTube and stuff being like, hey, like I have level 100s, I have, fully, where's my mouse gone? There it is. It's like, you know what I mean? I have level 100s, I have fully super awakened, I'm jumping into fights, I'm jumping into PvP, and I'm just getting out CC'd. So I wanted to cover off a few of the reasons why that might be happening to you guys and how you can kind of fix it, right? So every time you jump into, obviously, a PvP fight, there's a couple of different factors that play in, right, to your overall CC, whether it be elite or whether it be normal. Now, I'm just going to quickly explain the difference. You guys probably know, but in elite, basically, gear matters, and in normal, it doesn't. So it's ungeared versus geared, basically. So this takes your heroes as they are without any gear, and then elite takes your heroes with all the gear that you've built and assigned for it. Now, I'm going to start with probably normal, just because that seems to be the one where there might be the biggest disparity. I'm not sure, but anyway, we'll start here. So basically, in short, you've got level 100 heroes, right? You've got full SA'd, and you're jumping into fights, and you're being out CC'd by a lot. There's a few different reasons, and we're going to start the very first one that we're going to start with, which might be pretty straightforward, is food. So if you're taking on another player, they might have CC food, right? Simple as that. Now, there is a little title effect, which gives you an extra 2% boost to your normal 10% that the food does. They might have that, right? And that might give them 12% increase in combat class, and it might give them, only 10, depending on what you've got. Or they might have dodge food, which means you might out CC them if you have combat food. So food is like if I take off this food, actually, let's just go resistance food. Like if I swap the food real quick, I drop down to 182k, right? So 182k to 204 or whatever it was. Where is it? Is quite a massive difference, right? Yeah, 203, 204 basically. So 182 versus 204 is quite a big difference in jump, right? It's 22k CC on normal, right? On ungeared. And same thing if I go to, the food works across both, right? So it's not just normal. So just to clarify, I'm at 342 here, and if I switch back down to resistance food, I drop down to 306. Right, so 342 to 306 is a massive, massive difference. So that's something to understand as well. That could be the first thing if you're taking on a real player. The second thing to take in consideration is links. So links that you put on your hero will change how much stats your team has, which will change your overall CC. So if I swap to that, it's got a massive drop in attack, defense, and HP, which means that I drop down to 180k CC. Now, if you don't have the right links on all your units, that will also be one of the reasons why you're getting out CC'd. Now, what's important when it comes to links in terms of overall CC? Obviously, things like combat class of the link is important, like the overall level, how many SAs, how many awakens it's got, etc., etc. Linking does sometimes help, but as you can see, this gives me an extra 20% crit chance, but I actually drop my stats. Right, so links are a little bit less important, and what's actually more important is the ult level, right? So 6 out of 6 Sariel, whereas I think this Merlin's 4 out of 6, I want to say. Yeah, 4 out of 6. So the ult level of that hero is really important. They're both fully super awakened, they're both level 100, but I have quite a decent, well, not a decent, it's not that big to be honest, but I lose 200 attack, I lose 100 defense, and I lose 3k HP. Right, so that's just on normal. If I take this across to elite, it also changes, right? And the reason that is because it also then takes gear into consideration a lot of the time. So my attack's now 20.5k. If I go here, it drops down to 19k, right? 22k, so to 19k. So Sariel I have a 6 out of 6, and I have full attack crit UR gear on him, so he becomes a very good link for someone who's trying to do a lot of damage, right? So again, what level that unit is, but more important, well, not more importantly, it kind of comes in, but like if you have everyone that's level 100 and super awakened, you pick the one that has the highest ult level. That's why for my other links, if I'm not using Graces, I always use my Festival Liz, because she has decent high CC and she's 6 out of 6, and she'll always give the most, and same thing with my Brunhild. My Brunhild is 6 out of 6 as well. So that's the next thing, is links, right? Now, let's say you've got 6 out of 6 links, you've got level 100, fully super awakened, you know, you're playing geared, you've got, you know, all that kind of stuff, and you're like, all right, I'm still not doing well. Next thing is cosmetics, right? Now, cosmetics is a way of boosting your overall CC on the hero. So you can take a base hero. So this is my Escanor. He's got attack crit gear, right, and he's 61k CC. If I actually take off all of his cosmetics, I actually haven't done this, so it'll be interesting to see what he gets down to. I'm just going to do these ones. Actually, no, we'll do all of them, just to prove a point and just to show, right? So we take off all of these, and then we take off his headpiece. 58k CC, right? So that's instantly a loss of what, 3k CC? And I don't have all the cosmetics. You can have up to 5 pieces of equipment on each of these rungs, right? So a lot of whales and stuff will have bought outfits, will have all of these at max, and will have all of these at the top. So if you're going into a fight, especially in ungeared, right, because where like a little bit of CC matters, because you can't make up the difference in gear, which I'll get to, but this is the reason why you're potentially being out CC'd, right, is because you don't have max cosmetics. Maybe you don't have all 5, maybe you don't have any maxed at all, but this is going to play a part in your overall. Oh, I'm missing, where's my CC? Oh, I'm missing that, there we go. So see, I could tell, right, because I was at 60k, not 61k. So now back up to 61k. So this is that's another reason is cosmetics. Again, another thing is ult level, right? They might have higher ults than you. Each ult level you gain on a unit will give you plus 500 CC. So for example, my Ludo, because he's 5 out of 6 versus my poor Escanor, who I got very unlucky with the pulls on, is only 1 out of 6. Ludo just gets instantly an extra 2k CC because of his ult level, right? Again, and that can make a difference. My Melee's 4/6 gets an extra 1.5k CC from a level 1, right? Just because of the way the ult levels work. Now, the other thing to take in consideration, not in ungeared, right? In ungeared, if you've got full max cosmetics, you've got 5 out of 5, everything's maxed, right? You've got 6 out of 6 ults, you've got level 100, you're fully super awakened. There's only one other thing that can affect being out CC, but I'll get to that in a second. If you're in geared, the other thing that can affect your overall CC is 1, the type of gear you use, and 2, how well it's invested into, right? So I've got 61.4k on Escanor. I'm just going to use him as well. Also, I love this outfit. I think this is so cool. I'm saving up for the helmet, but I think this just looks so good like this. Is equipment, right? So the first thing, I have attack crit gear on this guy for at the moment, right? So my attack is 17k, my HP is 160k, my defense is 9k. I do have an HP defense set for him. When I do that, right, my attack drops significantly, but my defense and my HP goes up. My combat class also goes up, because combat class is better scaled off of HP and defense than it is off an attack crit set, right? So attack crit set's better for overall damage, but HP defense set is better for just being a higher CC unit and also tanking more hits. So that's why we always have this, like, there's a discussion of, okay, do you give attack crit, do you give HP defense? Because it's like, is your unit going to be a DPS unit, or is it going to be just a tank? You want it to just tank, or maybe it just does enough damage where you can run HP defense and you have a high CC. So that will affect you as well, right? And what set of gear that you have, that'll change your CC. The final thing in gear that will also affect it is these gears substats. Now, I'm probably going to get flamed from some of you. I don't know what this attack looks like. Okay, that's not too bad. So you can have everything at max, 3%, 3%, 3%, at 510, right? Like, I could probably get this a little bit better, and if I just wanted to level this up ever so slightly more, then it would give me even more attack, right? Now, this all affects my overall stats as well. So I'm working on the 15% gear for this guy. But for example, this one, right? This could be way down here, and then these could be down here as well, which means I'll have a lot less CC than someone who has them a lot higher, right? And again, if you don't have, like, maybe HP rolls, maybe you don't have defense rolls, like, depending on how you roll the gear is also then dependent on your CC. So if I just pull up, what's another set of gear I'm currently, like, so this set of gear, right? I have proper gear for Barn, for Purgatory Barn on my other Barn unit, but, like, I've got here, these aren't rolled correctly, right? So I've got HP, regeneration rate, recovery rate. For max CC, you need to roll these at attack up here, defense here, and then HP here. That'll give you the most max stats, right? So this is a 46k CC barn, which I know is probably going to hurt a lot of your souls. If I do this, right, and these are all re-rolled gear, even if I swap out this for my crit gear, right, so this is now engraved versus just SSR, and it's also been re-rolled for what I need it to be re-rolled for. We suddenly jump to 54k or 53k CC rather than 46. So that's the whole premise. I've stuffed that now, but that's okay. I'll fix that later. So that's the whole premise of gear and how you need to re-roll your gear and make sure your stats are high in your gear in order to make sure you get the max CC out of that. Right? That's a key piece in gear. All right. Now, you're sitting there and you're going, Dan, I have full max 15% gear, I have level 100s, I have fully super awakened, I have every cosmetic invested into, I have 5 out of 5 cosmetics, my CC is like 70k on my Escanor, my CC is like 71k on my melee, I'm running HP defense, like why am I still getting out CC'd? First off, if that's the case, you are probably in almost Challenger, to be honest. You'll be at Champion 1, right, at least on that, and then at Fight Festival you'll be probably in champ as well. So you probably know what you're doing by this point, right? And you probably have a pretty decent high CC. But if you get to that point and you're still getting out CC'd, the only other reason is going to be Constellations. Now Constellations, I kind of slept on this for a while because I didn't realize how OP Constellations actually is. But there's two parts to it. One is your overall CC of your team, right? So I'm almost at 6 mil CC. 6 mil box CC, and once I get there, I get an increase of 2% on my hero's defense and an increase of 12.5% on my hero's HP. Right, at the moment I've got a 2% hero defense and 12%, right? So as you get higher and higher into the combat class, like if I tried to take on someone that had 10 mil box CC, they've got another increase of 4.5% on HP and a 14% defense, and then a 14% hero HP increase, right? Even when you start getting up to, 13 mil box CC, you start getting attack boosts, right? So this is what at the moment, that's in short just the account combat class buff that you get, right? Then with all those extra GPs that you're getting from the account combat increase, right? Because like when you level up your box CC, you get more GP. And when you get more GP, it means you can invest that in your Constellations. Now, from the Constellations myself, I'm getting another 300 attack, 400 defense, and 5300 HP. And I'm only up to the 4th one. I know some people that have finished the 5th one. Well, I don't know them, but you've seen them. The Mega Whales have finished the 5th one, right? Now, every time you invest in this gives you more attack, more defense, and more HP. So if I do this now, there you go, increases my regeneration rate. So I didn't have a lot to GP to spend, but increases my regeneration rate. So just by having a higher account box CC, you're going to get an increase in stats, and then you're also going to be able to invest in the Constellations as well. And that's what's also going to cause the disparity in CC. Like, if you've seen some whales in YouTube and stuff that are cracking like 400k CC on what's it called, on geared PvP, that's because they've got a massive account box CC, and they've also invested really heavily into the Constellations. Now that's a massive whale account, right? Like it's spending lots and lots of money, and I really wouldn't recommend it. It's not worth it for being a game, right? So like, for example, let me just switch. Okay, let me give him gear back, and let's do, just for sake of argument, I gotta go fix the Purgatory Barn later, but so Brawler Barn's my backline unit. So 342, right? So like I need to get like another 40 to 60k CC to even compete with some of these like Giga Whales, right? And I have, I definitely have a couple more cosmetics, but my heroes are pretty well invested into. Granted, not all completely 6/6, right? But that shouldn't make a 60k difference. You know what I mean? So I've got Holy Relics, so that's the reason that you're potentially getting out CC'd, along with a myriad of other reasons. So invest in cosmetics, invest in your gear if you're doing geared PvP. Make sure you are pulling alt, like investing in alt levels if you're using those units, because that will help with CC as well. Links, cosmetics, Constellations, buffs, it all comes into play, right? Your box CC, it all comes into play. So I hope that kind of helps some of you guys out there that are kind of wondering why you might be getting out CC'd, or wondering where you need to invest in to increase your overall combat class. But I hope that helps. And yeah, I just want to do that video real quick. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, really appreciate all your support lately. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.